Hello. I came forward because I heard that Roman Polanski is fighting his return to the United States, facing sentencing for his previous crime against a 13-year-old victim, and that his legal team is portraying his previous offense against a minor as an isolated instance. I am also a victim of Roman Polanski. He sexually abused me in the worst possible way when I was just 16 years old. 4 years after he fled the United States to avoid sentencing for his crime. In addition to the fact that both myself and his previous victim were underage, I believe that there are other similarities in the crimes that he committed. It is very important that the district attorney and the Swiss authorities be armed with this information as they decide Mr. Polanski's fate. I have traveled to the United States at my expense to make sure that justice is finally done and that Mr. Polanski gets what he deserves. Mr. Polanski knew that I was only just 16 years old when he met me and forced himself upon me in his apartment in Paris. He took advantage of me, and I have lived with the effects of his behavior ever since it occurred. All I want is justice.
Even though Charlotte was afraid to report her allegations to law enforcement at the time the incident allegedly occurred, for reasons common to many victims, she did present fresh complaint evidence to law enforcement, and it is in their possession. Charlotte is also ready to testify under oath, if, as, and when that would ever be necessary in the legal process. If Mr. Polanski thought that the sentence he was about to receive for the crime that he committed against the child was unfair, he could have withdrawn his plea. Instead of doing that, however, he chose to flee from the criminal justice system. To make matters worse, if he took advantage of another very vulnerable young victim after making his escape and avoiding the imposition of legal consequences, then he needs to face justice now for what he has done in the past. If the court believes and gives weight to Charlotte's allegations, then Mr. Polanski deserves no compassion for the commission of his original crime to which he entered a plea, and no compassion for his age or the number of years that have passed since the crime was committed.